Really quick video here just on how you can maximize your thaumaturgy profits by using other professions. Thaumaturgy is broken into 3 different groups, and you generally only use one item out of those 3 groups. So the first one I'm going to cover, and is by far the best, is Mycobloom. Mycobloom breaks down into Bismuth, Weavercloth, and Storm Dust. So there's 3 professions you want to have if you're doing Mycobloom, and that is tailoring, enchanting, and blacksmithing. So the specialization you need for tailoring when you're doing Mycobloom is 15 in textile treasures, 30 in less is more, 30 in extra thread, 30 in quality fabric, and 30 in weaving unraveling. So what you want to do is take the weaver cloth you got from the Mycobloom, unravel it, which you want the resourcefulness tool for, and then once you've got all the spools from that, you then come to weaver cloth bolts and use the spools in which you want the multi-craft tool for. Now, because we're not doing rank 3s, because you don't get rank 3 items from doing thaumaturgy, you don't need to be absolutely best skill wise. However, you do want to have maximized multi-craft and resourcefulness. So once you're done creating all the bolts, you have 2 choices, and you do want to diversify, not go only one way. You create the cloth cuffs, and this is where enchanting will come in, which I'll show later, or you create the exquisite weaver cloth bolts, because you can use the storm dust you got from the Mycobloom as well in this process. Now, you don't want to use all your weaver cloth and all your storm dust either, because like I said, diversity is key. So you do sell some of them still, but with most of it, you make these exquisite weaver cloth bolts or the cloth cuffs. Now, with the cloth cuffs you just made from the Mycobloom you thaumatized, the specialization you need for enchanting is 30 in designated disenchanter and 30 in rare resourcing. Now, you do need all rare tools for this and 100 out of 100 skilled for it to be profitable, because skill actually matters when you're disenchanting. And from this process, you will get gleaming shards. Now, if you want to take it even further, but this isn't something I do, you can then, if it is profitable, it's not always going to be, you want a resourcefulness tool on, and you just shatter the gleamings that you get from the cloth cuffs. So we've spoke about what you do with weaver cloth and storm dust you get from Mycobloom. However, with the bismuth, you're going to want a miner to refine it into rank 3. Again, you don't use all of it, maybe only refine half of it into rank 3, and then you send those rank 3 ores that you've refined and the rank 2 ore that you got from the Mycobloom to your blacksmith. So with your blacksmith, to make alloys, you're going to need 100 out of 100 skill. You're going to want a multi-craft tool and all rare tools. You're going to want 40 out of 40 ever burning forge, 20 out of 20 discerning disciple, and 20 out of 20 gracious forging. You're also going to want the ignition satchel, which increases the stats even further that you get. And then in means of production, you're going to want 30 out of 30 means of production, 30 out of 30 fortuitous forges, and 20 out of 20 alloys. And this allows you to create the rank 3 alloys, as well as having the highest profitability possible when you're creating the rank 2 alloys. Now, the 2 other groups I'll cover at the same time, because they're generally the same thing, because they give 2 herbs and 1 ore. So the storm charge leather gives you Arathor spear, iron claw, and blessing blossom. So the best profession to group this with is actually alchemy. However, if you've got a full thaumaturgy alchemist, you're probably going to need another alchemist to do this. And you come to the tempered flask of mastery, because it uses both the Arathor spear and the blessing blossom. Now, this is the same idea as the alloys. You get rank 2 items in thaumaturgy, so you're going to want to refine the Arathor spear and the blessing blossom you get into rank 3 with your herbalist. Now, you can do all of it if you like, or only half, up to you, but I would do half and half because you want to diversify. And then you create these flasks of tempered mastery. In order to do this, you are going to need a lot of points, but it's 50 out of 50 alchemical mastery, and then you want to fill the blessing blossom node and the Arathor spear node, while also coming into the flasks and getting 30 out of 30 flasks and 25 out of 25 bulk production. Now, to pair with this, because we need the vials as well, you're going to want a jewel crafter with prospecting, because both with gloom chitin and storm charge leather, you get iron claw ore or acarite ore. So before I show you the jewel crafting, I'll go over the gloom chitin now. Gloom chitin gives you lure drop, acarite, and orbanite. So it's the same deal. You want to alchemist again. Instead of the tempered masteries, you want to do the tempered aggression, because they require the lure drop and orbanite that you get from the gloom chitin. And then again, with your jewel crafter, you can create the rank 3 gilded vial. Now, this is especially true with the leather, because they give volatile transmutagens, which give you bismuth. As the vials require rank 3 gemstones, if you want to make them as rank 3, you need the rank 3 bismuth to crush. So I'll swap to my jewel crafter and we'll go over that spec now. For prospecting, you only need 10 out of 30 in shaping, and then you want 40 out of 40 in gem finding. If you're doing the iron claw, you want 20 out of 20 emerald and 20 out of 20 sapphire. So that would be your thaumatizing leather. If you're doing gloom chitin, you're going to want the 20 out of 20 onyx and the 20 out of 20 ruby. However, ideally, you want to fill this entire tree, because that's where you'll be able to create the rank 3 vials. And also, we can move on to creating the marbled stone, which you get from the prospecting, and the blasphemites, which you get from thaumaturgy, to create these magnificent jeweler settings. This pattern is around 70,000 gold, so I wouldn't suggest doing this to anyone who's only going to do this for a short amount of time, because you're not going to make your money back. However, if you plan on doing this for the rest of the expansion, this is definitely a money winner. And with this spec, you want both the multi-craft tool and the resourcefulness tool. And because we're going to be shattering as well, you need the jeweler's purse. Once you've prospected the acarite and iron claw ore, because rank 2 iron claw and acarite ore is generally profitable to do. It's not the greatest amount of profit, but if you're using the items from thaumaturgy, Thaumaturgy, it will increase your gains. And then you take the items that you get from prospecting this ore. With this shaping tree field, you can create all of these items at a max rank or just rank 2 because, again, you want to diversify. So just use those materials to make these things. And this is just some of the ways you can turn the materials you get from Thaumaturgy into more gold. You obviously can also send some bismuth to an engineer if you've got that route. You can send the herbs to a scribe to do those. It's really up to you. But if you want to extend your gains, this is how you do it. A couple more things. I have updated the sheet to be able to put in a customizable amount of material you're using. I have tested these numbers and I'm pretty happy with the accuracy. This number is going to be lower than you actually get because I still haven't added resourcefulness. However, if you do have a full thing, it's pretty easy to do. You come to the cell above the gold per hour here and you just type in plus, and this is going to be the Mycobloom. So it's this cell times by, I just do 1, but the actual rate of resourcefulness is 1.25, and then you press enter and you just repeat that for all of these. However, because not everybody has a full spec and everything on the public sheet, I'm not going to add that in. I've also added crushing to the sheet because I use it a fair bit for making vials. So I've got the data for that. This does include resourcefulness though, so you're going to want a full build for this, and this is just how much gold you make per click on average. So this isn't a gold per hour or anything, it's just every time you press the crushing button, this is about how much gold you make. So just for a super quick recap, with the weaver cloth you get from Mycobloom, you send it to a tailor, you make spools, you make bolts, you make exquisite bolts and cloth braces. You then send those cloth braces to an enchanter to disenchant for gleaming shards. The bismuth you get from Mycobloom, you refine to rank 3 if it's profitable with a miner. You then send it to a blacksmith to make core alloys. You can also send some of the acrite and iron claw you get from Thaumaturgy to make charged and iron claw alloys. With Araflor spear and blessing blossom you get from Thaumatizing leather, you make flask of tempered mastery. With lure drop and orbanid you get from Thaumatizing gloom chitin, you make flask of tempered aggression. With the acrite and iron claw ore you get from either the leather or gloom chitin, you send to a jewel crafter to prospect, then you turn it into vials to make the flask, or jeweler's settings, which you also use the blasphemites you get from Thaumaturgy to do, or the lenses, marbled stone, etc. Anyway, I hope this video helps you in some way. Thanks for watching. Peace.